All right, let's dive straight into this explainer. Today, we're looking at a seriously advanced difficulty feature that is an absolute game changer for repository management. We're talking about working with Git and GitHub natively through Claude Code. And as you'll soon realize, treating these systems as agentic tools is going to completely rewire how you think about writing software.
So picture this visceral developer pain point. We've literally all been there, right? You're drowning in, say, 47 open bug tracker issues. Your continuous integration pipeline is flashing this angry red, and you've got 3 separate branches that desperately need pull requests before the end of the day. It's totally overwhelming, it's chaotic, and honestly, it usually means frantic context switching just to keep your head above water.
Section 1. The Single Command Solution. Automating Workflows.
Now, here is the ultimate relief to that bottleneck. Normally, pushing through a multi-step bug fix is a 20 to 40-minute slog of purely manual labor. You know the drill. Read the issue, grep the codebase, write the fix, run tests, stage, commit, push, then tab over to the browser to open the PR. But what if we just didn't do all that? We can compress that entire frustrating sequence into one seamless, automated command with absolutely zero context switching.
Section 2. End-to-end Issue Resolution. Fixing Issue 142.
Let's look at a concrete example to see how this actually works. Say we need to fix a specific 404 error on a user profile page. This single plain English prompt, that's the magic moment. By typing this directly into your terminal, you are handing the reins over to the agentic operator. You're no longer micromanaging individual Git commands, you're just directing the final outcome.
Watch how this sequence unfolds. Claude independently chains these tool calls together natively, right in your terminal. First up, it runs git issue view to read the reproduction steps. Then it searches the codebase, finds a missing null check in your TypeScript file, and actually edits it for you. Next, it writes a regression test and automatically runs npm test to verify the fix passes. And finally, it commits the code and creates a traceable PR auto-linked back to the issue. Literally one instruction, one continuous workflow.
Section 3. Choosing the right mode. Match tool to task.
The trick here is knowing exactly when and how to deploy these different operational modes based on what you actually need. Got dependent multi-step tasks? Go with Claude Code Local. Want absolutely zero developer involvement? Tap into the Actions Cloud integration. Just tag an issue with @Claude and let a Cloud Runner handle it completely autonomously. For those security-critical changes, definitely fall back to manual Git for strict step-by-step human control. And what about massive parallel refactors? That is where Git worktrees shine. They give each Claude session its own isolated checkout, meaning edits never collide, allowing you to open multiple draft PRs all at the same time.
Section 4. Mastering Agentic Workflows. Implementation.
Okay, let's talk practical implementation because this is the absolute key takeaway. An agentic Git operator means Claude Code treats Git and GitHub as tools it can natively operate. It is not just a chatbot spitting out text and describing what you should type. It actually executes the shell commands. Grasping this philosophy is exactly what unlocks everything from automated CI fixes to parallel migrations. But before you can run this, you have to nail these technical prerequisites to establish a secure connection. First, authenticate the GitHub CLI on your machine using git auth login. Second, set up the Actions integration directly inside Claude Code using the /install GitHub app command. Seriously, let the system do the heavy lifting here. Actually, scratch that. Make it a hard rule. Just avoid trying to write complex GitHub Actions workflow YAML by hand altogether.
As you can probably guess, there is an incredible amount of depth to mastering these agentic systems. If you want 3 fully worked end-to-end examples and want to truly master these workflows while dodging common terminal pitfalls, you've got to check out the definitive resource over at claudemaster.net. And I'll leave you with this somewhat provocative thought about the future of software development. Think about it. If one single terminal command can investigate, fix, test, and ship an issue end-to-end all by itself, what happens to our velocity when you start chaining these autonomous commands together across your entire codebase? Something to chew on. Thanks for tuning into this explainer, and happy coding.